Hi guys, welcome back to Mike's Corner, and this is another episode in the AliExpress streaming challenge. Can we use AliExpress to buy the cheapest tech to create a streaming setup, including webcam, microphone, and some other peripherals? Which brings me to what we're going to have a look at today. Shall we take a look at the cool lighting effects gaming mouse? Let's get unboxing. Okay, so here we have the cool lighting effects game mouse. Yeah. Let's have a little look around the box that we've got here. So there's different models. These are a multitude of different versions. This is the wireless version that we have. It's using 24G or Bluetooth. So you can choose which ones you want. And we've got a couple of graphics on the side here. Game chip. Okay, cool backlight, game only, huh? So I can't use it for anything else, but gaming, because it's a gaming mouse. Don't use it for doing any Word documents or anything internet browsing, game only. And this is built in, I can't even see that properly, weight block, built-in weight block. So it's got a piece of a chunk of metal in there to make it feel heavier. Game mouse. Right. Let's have a little look inside, shall we? But wait, I hear you ask. Mike, how much did this cost? Well, this costs £3.49. Right, so not a lot because it's just a mouse. So we've got a little USB-C, which is nice. And then we have, before we get to the mouse, let's have a look at the instructions, which are in English. So it's got a Bluetooth wireless mouse. It's got a Bluetooth, it's basically got a receiver, it's got a charging wire and instruction manual, which is correct, yes. It's got some operations where you can select the DPI as well, which is nice. Distance of 10 meters away. Rechargeable battery size. It's got Type-C USB, yeah, interface, yeah. Instructions, pretty much plug it in and it should work. Are you ready? Here we go. Oh, look at this. Wow. It's so sparkly. Look at that. Oh, looks really, really, really sparkly. Okay, so here's the little adapter at the bottom. And that's going to be your, was it 24 gigahertz kind of receiver. There's a switch at the bottom here, and you can switch it to Bluetooth mode or the dongle mode, or have it off. So let's have a look what we've got here. We've got the these are what I like to call internet browser backwards and forward buttons, because that's what I use them for. Looks like it's going to be a DPI adjustment. Thinking from experience of using other mices. There is a scroll wheel clicker as well. And the buttons, can you hear the buttons? I'm going to press them, ready? I don't think you can hear them. Right, I'm going to bring it up to the mic. I don't think they're pretty quiet. So it's a nice quiet mouse. That the middle button is definitely clicky. Hell of a lot more clickier than the actual normal mouse buttons. But that's it for buttons, I believe. So you've got your two on the side, you've got your DPI adjustment, and you've got your scroll wheel button, as well as your right and left. Oh, you've got a little charge port here as well. Look at that. Nice. Let's switch it on and see what happens with the lights. So if we go for, I'm going to try and use Bluetooth mode. So we had there's a little sparkle of is that a laser? It looks like it's a laser. Oh, okay. So I take it this is now in pairing mode. So let's see if we can pull up the Bluetooth receiver on my computer and get it paired up. Okay, so here's my Bluetooth window open, and as you can see, there is a couple of different inputs that have come off. So I'm going to try and connect it to the 5.2 mouse. And Windows is now setting that up. The actual mouse has stopped flashing now that it's paired with Bluetooth. And now my mouse is ready to go. So let's go ahead and see how the mouse operates. Okay, now before we get into things, I am going to be comparing it to my Rat MMO7, which I've had for many years now, and it's my daily driver and I love it to bits, and I would be very sad when it breaks because you can't get them anymore. So I've loaded up Guild Wars 2 and we're going to do just some quick movements on the mouse to see how it feels and how it actually, for the most important thing, how it feels in the hand and how it performs. Back to Guild Wars 2. The mouse is now the primary mouse. What I'm finding is, I believe it's an optical mouse, it's not a laser mouse. So even though if I lift the mouse up slightly off the ground, see it's still registering it as a movement, and that's a good half a centimeter off the actual mouse pad. See? Which I'm not used to, because I'm used to laser mices which have to pretty much be flat on the ground for them to still work. So what's happening is when I'm moving around and trying to go back, I'm moving the mouse up a little bit and it's going back. That's obviously just me. So if I lift up a little bit further, it's not an issue. So let's jump down, have a little walk around. Ow, shouldn't have probably jumped from that height. But yeah, that where it's going back on itself, that's interesting. As I said, that's probably going to be just me because I'm not lifting it up high enough. That I mean, in all honesty, it's not a bad mouse. I mean, I can move around, I can spin. There doesn't appear to be any noticeable lag on the actual device. So as a mouse goes, it does exactly what it says on the tin. What I have noticed is that the colors, they do circle through the different colors that the mouse is. You can't select the colors at all. It's just you're stuck with what they are. This is the DPI adjustment, and you can press it to go up in DPI or lower in DPI depending on how you like your mouse. I've kind of tried to set it as close as a DPI of this for the movement, and for all intensive purposes, it does exactly what it said on the tin. So could this be something we've got from AliExpress for the streaming challenge, which is actually going to be fit for purpose? So far, so good. Okay, so now it's time to plug in the USB receiver that came with the mouse to see how it performs on that as well. So now I've plugged the receiver for the mouse in, so we're going to switch it over to receiver mode and see what happens. So I'm hoping it'll pair up quite quickly. So far, nothing. Okay, is that it? Is it? And that's it, it's on. So now I'm able to use the mouse using the receiver that was included with the mouse. So let's see if we get any lag and if it's just as good as the Bluetooth connection. So now we're in Guild Wars 2 and we're going to just have a quick move around and see if there's any lag in doing it on here as well. Just a briefest of delays. I didn't remember if I saw that on the Bluetooth, but it seems perfectly fine. The problem when I start to lift the mouse and move it is starting to get a little annoying, that it moves back slightly because the optical sensor. That again, it could just be me, but as you can see, I'm moving the mouse, I'm lifting the mouse up to move it back a bit, and it moves back. It's quite annoying, really, and I show you how high that is. That's doing that with, so you can gauge for yourself. Is this just me being fussy, or does the mouse sensor probably work too far off the ground for its own good? Okay, so now I'm going to show you how high up off the ground this still responds to movement. So, okay, still responds to movement. Still responds to movement. Okay, and still responds to movement that high off the ground. So that's a pretty, there we go. So about that high up, it's still responding to movement. Okay, there we go. So that high up, it's no longer responding to movement. But that's a hell of a height. So I'm going to have to move the mouse up like this and like this to stop it from reacting to movement, which to me, using like this mouse for example, if I do the same movement, so there we go, so I'm moving it, it's flat on the ground at the moment, there we go, that high up off the ground, it stops moving. I've got no movement that high up off the ground. So when I'm doing my scrolling, I just do it like that. There's no reverb, it doesn't come back on me at all. So there's a big difference in the height between this mouse. Now this is a laser mouse, than there is with this mouse. There's a whole lot of other dimensional difference on this one, very high. So there we have the cool lighting effects gaming mouse, only used for gaming, which it does what it says on the tin. It's a mouse, it's cordless, which is nice. I haven't used a cordless mouse in a long time, just because of the fact I don't really like to have to run out of batteries and mess around, so I've gone corded. But it's a really nice mouse, really. It's for the AliExpress streaming challenge, it's actually something that actually works. Now, for my large hands, I do have an issue with my fingers having nowhere to go, if you know what I mean. There's this little platform that's at the side of the actual mouse. It's like, okay, you're a platform there, but what are you there for? What are you there for? You're not really supporting my finger. I would rather prefer the platform be on this side, be larger, and this one probably not be there at all. But that's just me, and it's a mouse that says what it does on the tin, and for the price, it's pretty good. It's a cordless mouse. It's got LEDs, which you can't control, sadly, and I mean, it looks extraordinarily shiny. I mean, I don't know how long that this chrome effect is going to last for, but it's for the price, it's quite nice as a mouse. It moves fine, apart from when you're lifting the mouse up and the distance you have to lift up. But that could just be the fact that I'm used to laser mouses and I haven't used an optical mouse in a long time. So that brings us to the end of this video, and this was the third video in the AliExpress gaming challenge. If this has been interesting to you or helped you make a purchase or not make a purchase, hit on the like and subscribe. Helps me as a channel, costs you completely nothing, but you know, you can see this face a little bit more. That once again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next video.